Well, hello there, my friends. Welcome to some more combat here in the Arab-Israeli war. I really want to thank everybody for continuing to watch this series. This has been a fun one, a really fun one to shoot, and we still have a lot left to do here. So let's hope that we actually do it well and that we get a victory. Let's go ahead and start opening fire here on the enemy brigades. We just managed to get the rifle brigade to retreat. Of course, we're trying to get up here onto this actual hill so that we can, of course, start hitting the enemy with a lot more force. Now over here, for instance, I could see that they're going to try to target us with an artillery barrage. I'm going to try to get my guys out of the way. The problem is we're going to have to cross through a minefield to do that. So I think I'd rather move these guys forward first, and lucky enough we can get them up on that hill. I'll grab these guys, move them here, and hopefully they're in a fairly safe position. Now there are some enemy brigades here, and we definitely want to start opening up. I also believe that I was going to say I think that there's still some troops in these carriers, but actually no, it doesn't seem that's the case. We are going to open fire on the rifle companies. Completely eliminated that one, guys. That's the way we want to do this. That's the way we're going to complete this mission successfully. Once again, the enemy, I believe these are the Egyptians. They could also be the Yemenis. I'm not sure. The Arab-Israeli war. I think it's the Arab League, actually. Again, I know very little about the Mideast conflicts, to be honest with you. And we're trying to get to that first 100-point area. To do that, we have to get into this Arab trench line and take it over. Boom! Beautiful shot there. That's going to be, of course, coming from our armored troops. They also have some anti-tank weaponry, although as far as I can tell, we're not going to have to deal with any tanks in this particular area. Later in the game, we very well may have to. No effect on the rifle company, fair enough. You can't win every single one. We're going to keep moving with the rest of our boys. As you can see, we've got a lot of guys over here that are also closing in on the Arabs on the eastern part. So I'm definitely going to be moving them forward. Let's go ahead, grab these guys. This is risky, guys. I'm not going to lie. The enemy's going to be opening fire on us, and as you can see, they just took out one of our half-tracks. Luckily, we had already taken our soldier out of it, but that's absolutely an ultra-dangerous situation for our men, and I'm going to return in kind with every single guy in this platoon. There we go. We got some revenge. Reduced by 3. We disrupted them, and we caused them to retreat. So that's 3 enemy dead. I think they learned a lesson on that one. We've also got these Jeeps with machine guns, and I think they're perfect for this kind of area. So I am going to move them forward. I'm going to try to avoid those minefields, and I want to take out that enemy AT gun right there. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a shot on it this turn. We might have to wait till next turn. Do we have a shot here? Yes, we do. Let's go for it. We're going to use every single one of our guys to open fire. Completely eliminated that AT gun, and I think that's the way to go, especially since we have got to basically get the enemy out of this area if we want to take these points, and this is only one small part of this battle. We also have a bunch of trucks here with men inside, and if we're going to start deploying them, we want to make sure the enemy can't start opening fire on them left and right. So I'm going to start moving these guys up. I'm not deploying the troops yet, but I'm getting them as close as I can to the battlefield without them being, of course, shot down. Nice. We can actually drop one off, but he's going to have to wait here this turn, so I think it's better for us just to wait. I do want to move up here, but you see those little red squares? That's a minefield. So we can't do that. It's just not acceptable. We could take the risk. I mean, we could do it. Saying we can't is actually not technically correct, but it's risky. So let me grab these guys. I think they've already done their movements, but I'm going to try to move. Nice. We're getting up there on the hill. This is where we want to be, guys, approaching that next victory point. Over here with these guys, I am going to have them open fire on the unit in front of us. If they can. I don't think they can. We could also attempt some actual close combat maneuvers. And what I mean by that is we can actually attempt to go ahead and use some of our units to charge the enemy and take over that way. But that's a little more dangerous, and I don't want it to come to that if we can help it. Once again, got to move these guys closer, and we need to start firing. But here, we definitely want to select the correct targets. So engineers, rifle companies, and, oh yeah, an 81mm mortar. That's what I want to kill. I also wouldn't mind taking out their Jeep with a machine gun. But let's fire with our tank here at the 81mm mortar. We're using an AMX light tank. Ooh, we can't. We're going to have to fire at the rifle team. Fair enough. We reduced them by 3. Really nice shooting there. I'm going to see if we can move up even a little bit more. It's a little risky, but I'm going to take my engineer team here. He's also a mine-clearing team. Of course, engineer mine-clearing sort of makes sense. We're putting our light tank in a dangerous position, but I trust them, and they've held. They've held. Oh, maybe not. Oh, and there's a pill. Is there a pillbox there? There might be. I think they're using that pillbox. So hopefully we get a shot. No, we're going to have to wait till next turn. And the same with this half track. We're going to have to wait till next turn to start engaging the enemy. But I will move this next AMX light tank up as well if I can. It looks like no, he's already used his movement points. Let's take a look over here. Yeah, baby. We can actually move a lot of our guys this way. So basically we'll be avoiding the mines and we'll be helping to take that next area. I want to see if we can get a shot off, and I think we actually can on these retreating rifle companies. Fortunately, no. We're going to have to go onto higher ground. You can actually see the elevation here is a bit higher. If we want to chase those guys, we're going to have to move up. And I'm not so sure we want to do that right now, but we'll try. Okay, we actually can probably still get a shot here. I'm going to target one of these guys. Nice. Completely eliminated. There was only one guy left in that squad anyway, but I still consider that a pretty good move. These guys, I think they've moved all they can. Yeah, we're going to have to wait till next turn to move them, but I will keep moving some of these light tanks over here, and hopefully we'll be able to get some more shots as we head for that next point. Rifle company. I think it's going to be hard to hit these guys because they're all at different elevations, but I will try to target the truck. Yes! Eliminated, and look at all that burning fuel. That is tough, and there's also an enemy battalion HQ. This is who I should have been firing at. Boom. Reduced by one. One of the enemy commanders is definitely dead. There's no doubt about that. But I think that's all the shots we get with that particular group of guys this turn. I'm still going to try to look around, but no, that's about it. What can we do? Well, we've got our machine gun Jeep here. Okay, can he fire? I think he's moved way too much to be able to fire. Yeah, he did. He definitely has. And honestly, he's a pretty easy target for the enemy. So that wasn't the best move on my part, but we're going to make a few mistakes. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to move up here and I'm going to try to take that trench line, but we'll do it with one unit at a time. These are our Israeli rifle platoons. Nice. Nicely done. Reduced by 2, retreated. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Could probably fire again. And we've eliminated them. That is great work. Now I want to get the rest of these boys up into the trenches. And of course, we get a defensive bonus in this area as well. I'm not sure if these guys are going to be able to fire after that much movement, but we're still going to try and check. No, definitely not. I think we've still done a very good job, all things considered. We'll grab these guys, move them towards the trenches as well. And basically, that's really our main goal right now, is just to keep moving towards the enemy positions. They think they're going to be able to strike us with artillery, but we are not even going to be there by the time the arty gets here. That being said, we're also moving a lot of our arty around, so we might not get the opportunity to actually use our arty either in this particular situation. We're going to have to wait and see. As for the trucks here that have men in them, you know, we discussed that earlier. I do want to get these guys out of these trucks, but I want to do it in a safe way. So first, I want to take complete control of this area before I really drop anyone. We'll send them over here. They're kind of out in the open. Not great. We've also got some awesome Sherman tanks given to us by the U.S. Thank you, U.S., which we're going to use to flank the enemy over here. Could have probably actually stopped right there and been okay, but I'll take it. And yeah, we're not going to be able to fire. We've used up our movement points. I'm actually going to see if we have a few more movement points. Nice, not bad. So we should be taking that position pretty soon. We've got some more trucks here with soldiers in them, and I'm going to be sending them over to this area on the battlefield. So hopefully they don't land right there in the enemy arty line. They might. There's a chance, but I think they're okay. Now they're doing just fine. I don't like these guys, though, being in the trucks. If we can dismount, I'll try, but they've used all their movement points. Let's just hope that that enemy AT gun does not start targeting them, or else they're going to be in trouble. I nearly sent those guys into a minefield, so we want to be careful. Calm down, Agrippa. We've got plenty of time. We're only at turn 5 of 20. And that's another thing, guys. If you guys enjoy this series, I really need you to hit that like button, comment down below, share it with your friends, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'm also going to put a link down below to the playlist for this series so that if you've missed the other episodes, you can still check it out. I highly recommend you do. It's been really fun, and we've got a long way to go before the end. There we go. This is one of the series we've decided to keep because of the support, and I'm not about to give it up. We also have these beautiful howitzers way back here, and they should help us move forward. Let's go ahead and grab the rest of our boys. Come on, boys. Move it up, move it up. The enemies definitely managed to take out some of our men, and we'll take a look at the casualties before the end of this video so that you guys can essentially see how we're doing, basically. Trying to move these guys over here. I don't want them to get caught there on the arty spot, but they did. That happens sometimes, unfortunately, and that's not going to be great, but I'm hoping they're going to come out of it alive. I'm also going to move these staghounds. Ooh, enemy was right there. I didn't even notice. But this might be a blessing in disguise. If we can get some shots off, we can target the enemy units here. These are rifle platoons. Let's go ahead and see if we can open fire. No, we cannot. We've done enough movement. Let's just hope that they don't target us this next turn. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the other part here of the mission, of course. This is what the Arab League has. They've got some Palestinian rifle companies. They've got some Egyptian rifle companies. I think they even have some Jordanian companies as well. And this is really their main position that they seem to have fallen back to near El Arish. They kind of have run away from Rafah. As you can see, they are targeting Rafah with artillery strikes, but we're not going to leave. We're going to try to take out all of the enemy vehicles here. Specifically, that 25-pound artillery piece. I know it's not a vehicle, but that artillery piece is a threat big time to all of our men. So I'm doing everything I can to take it out. Come on, boys. No effect. You guys got to improve your shooting. And actually, firing at Rafah, it's kind of sad because they're basically firing at their own city. Hey, I guess to destroy the enemy, you got to do whatever you can do. I'm going to go ahead and target that prime mover. And it looks like we destroyed the prime mover. I'm not really sure what he's supposed to be doing. Open fire. Reduced by 1. Okay, we just killed one of the enemy enemy 25-pounder artillery assistants there. Took out another one. Maybe we can finish them off this turn. Almost. We did disrupt them. I'm actually going to fire at Colonel El Arish. So Colonel El Arish is, of course, one of the enemy commanders. Taking him out would be very, very helpful to the rest of our men. But we've got to get into Rafah to be able to target him. So at this point, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. We can move over here on the road, though, and I think we do have an open shot. Nice! We just killed Colonel El Arish, guys. That is a major supporter of the cause. He's, of course, one of the generals for the enemy. Well, one of the colonels, the commanders. And we just took him out. That's going to hurt the enemy cause big time. Nice shooting. They disrupted him, but they did not manage to kill him. Now, one of these vehicles does have men still inside, so I'm going to try to dismount them immediately. There we go. And that's just going to be a straightforward armored unit. I'm going to do exactly what I just did with this troop, and I'm going to try to target the enemies over here. Nice. We just eliminated it, guys. One enemy artillery piece down. Going to be very, very helpful. I'm going to try to fire at the next one. But once again, I think we're going to have to grab both of these guys and get them on the road, a bit out in the open, to be able to open fire on that particular piece of equipment. Let's also not forget, we reduced by 3. That was great. But let's not forget the enemy do have a few tanks here. In fact, they have some Shermans themselves. So, hey, look, when you're selling weapons, in the case of the U.S., I think that it probably goes both ways. Open fire with our machine gun unit. Close enough. Pretty close. We've disrupted them. They're not going to be firing this turn, and that's certainly a good start. Also, we've gotten our guys out of the way of that really, really dangerous artillery. I'm going to move these guys up on the Rafah crossroads as well. They can't move up all the way, but at least they can get there partially. And we've got some more reinforcements here. We're going to be moving them up as well. Come on, boys. More trucks with men in them. It's very dangerous to move these guys, especially with artillery strikes coming in, but, you know, it's just as dangerous to just leave them right there and hope for the best. So I'm going to try to drive right through here. Oh, boy, you see what I'm talking about? We just lost a group of men. That is very serious. I'm going to have to drop these guys, and that was totally my fault, not even spotting the enemy. They eliminated another truck. Thankfully, it was not a truck with anybody inside, so we might still be able to drop this guy off. Let's hope. No, I don't think so. Let's try again. No. So hopefully this machine gun can return fire there. But I think we're going to have to wait till next turn. That's just part of what's going to be happening in this conflict. We are going to get shot at, and this Rafa area is probably one of the most dangerous areas on the entire battlefield. So let me see if I can get these guys up. I'm going to try to dismount. But I think we're going to have to wait a turn or two. Okay, we got one unit out. Let's try to get another one. At this point, I think getting them out of their trucks is very, very important. Can they open fire? I don't think they can. It's okay, though. We can absolutely make that happen in a little bit. Move these guys forward. We do have a battalion HQ in this group, so we want to be extra careful. And let's see if we've got anybody else. I think that's going to be about it. I think in terms of movement, we've done what we can this turn. Not bad at all. And we're one step closer to victory. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the Arabs. But before I do, we have a chance to go ahead and call in some artillery strikes, I believe. Although we have moved a lot of our arty this turn, we should be able to call in some strikes. Look at that, man. Yeah, we can definitely call in strikes. So over here, this is where the enemy really seems to be congregating. At the same time, it's not a bad idea to target the areas here closest to our men. And there's also enemy commanders here, namely Lieutenant Colonel Kansani. So I'm going to drop some arty there, and that's a Campanella 120 millimeter round. That thing will kill just about anything if it lands properly. Over here, I'm going to assist our boys by hitting their mortar. And then we'll go over here to the 105 millimeter mortar. I'm going to fire at these guys right here. We still got a shot for our 60 mil. He's really close over here to Gaza, so I'm going to fire at that group of men. 3-inch mortar right there. And let's actually fire right at the victory point. We still have 155 millimeters of artillery that we can fire. I do want to get these guys a bit closer, but actually, this is actually pretty good. We're going to be defending or assisting our guys at Rafa by firing artillery over here at the cliffs overlooking Rafa, and this is where the enemy managed to actually destroy one of our trucks with our men inside. I'm also going to drop some rounds over here on that AT gun piece. Of course, we're going to keep on dropping on the enemy here and the enemy commanders. There's plenty of them here. We've got, of course, Lieutenant Colonel Doka, and I think taking out the enemy officer class is going to be very important here. So I'm going to drop another round on Doka, probably drop a few more just to make sure that we hopefully get a kill there, and we will turn it over to the enemy. Oh my goodness, we just never stop getting reinforcements. Fair enough. That's awesome. So we got some tank reinforcements. We've got a bunch of reinforcements. Let's just put it that way. Try to bring the tank reinforcements all the way in. Also, Captain Rosen is part of this particular group. He's pretty well known and a pretty good captain at that. So we're going to be bringing Rosen to the battlefield. We're also going to be bringing these trucks to the battlefield as close as we can to get to Rafa and start defending it. Now, we have more reinforcements. We have medium trucks. Let's go ahead and pop all of them here. Divisional HQ, Brigade HQ, etc., and the medium trucks. That's what I'm really mostly concerned about, is getting the medium trucks to the battlefield. So let's go ahead and move these guys. Anytime now, boys. I think we're going to have to wait a turn or two. Fair enough. Fair enough. Can still keep moving forward with these soldiers. And as for these heavy trucks, as long as they don't have any men in them, we can tell they don't because the helmet is not colored in. We're going to just go ahead and leave them right there. So I think we're on to a pretty good start. I mean, I don't know what you guys think so far, but I think we're doing all right. Obviously, I want to hear your comments down below. But we're definitely in Rafa. We've crossed the Gaza Strip. And at this point, the real group of enemies is all over here. Of course, we have stragglers, like in places like this, that could still put up a hell of a fight. But I did promise you guys we would look at the casualties here. So we're going to look at strength, and we can see right here our losses. We lost 2 Super Shermans. That's a big loss. We lost 505 millimeter SP guns, 13 half-tracks, okay, 1 MKA half-track, 6 medium trucks, 1 60 millimeter mortar, 8 members of a rifle platoon, 6 members of the armored vehicle platoon, and 1 light machine gun. So, you know, altogether, we've probably lost less than 50 men. I mean, yeah, we've lost some vehicles. That's awful. But the enemy, if you take a look here, I mean, just look at this. 18 6-pounder AT guns, 4 prime movers, 6 light trucks, 6 medium trucks, 5 Shermans, 40 members of their rifle platoon, 57 members of another rifle platoon, 4 members of the carrier rifle squad, engineer. I mean, they're coming up to about 100 men that they've lost. And with all this consistent reinforcement we're getting, man, I think that it's going to be tough for the enemy to hold on. Of course, if they hold on to these victory points, they will win this battle. Let's go ahead and turn it over to them and see what they're going to do next. Oh boy, they're dropping some arty. Let's just hope it doesn't hit us. And luckily, I think we moved all of our guys out of the way. But they do still have some pretty heavy artillery there, and it absolutely could wound our men. Once again, they are going to be firing on their own city of Rafah, and I can't imagine that that's going to go very well with the citizens on their side. But at the same time, you know, we're guilty of the same thing. If enemies are in, you know, the Jewish quarter of Jerusalem or something like that, in this game, I have fired on that quarter in an attempt to, of course, hit them. Sometimes you accidentally kill a civvy that way, but either that or the enemy knows that you can do absolutely nothing, and they just keep on keeping on. So there we go. They fired some smoke into Rafah, and now I started to understand why the enemy uses smoke, you know, firing it at us. And that's because if the smoke is in the direct path of our line of sight, then we won't be able to fire. So we would have to move out of the smoke or to either left or the right of the smoke to be able to fire, and that gives the enemy a little bit of time. So they did just kill our M3. Luckily, no one was in it. They also just got our AMX light tank to retreat. I told you, they're still fighting. They're not giving up. And now, from up here on the hills, they're opening fire on our units that just got here. And sure enough, they did manage to hit that supply truck with the passenger inside. Remember, we couldn't get him out, and it looks like he may have been pretty seriously wounded. There are definitely some soldiers there that are wounded. Oh boy. All right, they move back the AMX light tank. The Jeep with the machine gun is disrupted. Luckily, we return fire, but I don't see much good coming of that. And they're trying to take out our Staghounds. This is what I'm most concerned about. Our Staghounds, you know, they're great vehicles, but their armor is not the best. And they can definitely be taken out by enemies with RPGs, which the enemy has plenty of. Oh boy. Yep, they just eliminated the passenger. I told you, it's dangerous, guys. They're firing at our other supply trucks there, and they actually killed some troops inside those trucks. That's the most dangerous part. The problem is, if we drop our troops off far from the battlefield and then have them walk to these victory points, it's going to take a really long time. Keep your heads down. Luckily, we're in the trenches here. Oh, nice shooting. I've got to give that to the enemy. They just killed one of the members of our squad. They had the high ground, and they took the advantage. I can't blame them for that. Now, this is where a lot of Palestinian forces are congregating. The Palestinian forces have sort of turbans, whereas the Egyptian or the Jordanian forces have sort of regular army helmets. But these Palestinian forces are quite vicious when it comes to actually infantry. They're actually quite good with their infantry. And yes, like I said before, they do have anti-tank weaponry. So do the Egyptians, though. Looks like they're moving up with some of their guys. They might be deciding to take the fight to us, do some counterattacks, especially the Palestinians. They seem much more willing to get to the front line than their Arab allies. That's definitely true. Those are the universal carriers. Now, once again, I want to repeat, and I mentioned this in a previous Let's Play, those universal carriers, they look pretty intimidating, but as far as I know, they don't have any weapons. They're really just basically APCs without machine guns. So they can carry men long distances, probably keep them pretty safe from a lot of machine gun and rifle fire, but in terms of an actual threat to us, no, I'm much more worried about the enemy Sherman tanks. Nice, return fire. Our MK3 just returned fire there and killed the group that went to the victory hex. That was beautiful. Good shooting, man. what I'm really hoping for is that our artillery strikes kill some more of their officer class. You know, we managed to kill one of their officers over there in Rafa. If we could waste some more of them, they're going to have no leadership and they're not going to know what to do. Got some light trucks here. I bet they're full of men. Oh, they are driving straight to the front lines. Alright, some of these guys are getting away from where our artillery's about to strike. Can't blame them. I think one thing in this game that really one of the few things I don't like is the fact that in most cases, and the same is true for us, maybe there's an option to toggle this off, we know where their artillery is going to strike and they know where our arty's going to strike. I think that's a mistake. So I think that, you know, that should be completely secret. And the same for the enemy. I think that would make it a lot more interesting. I'm not sure how we would be able to know anyway where the arty's going to strike. Perhaps even this early on, you know, people were able to detect incoming rounds and get out just in time. I know now in Israel, for instance, if the Palestinians fire a rocket, you know, they can pretty much know where that rocket's going to hit and how long it's going to take to reach the target, and you can usually zap it before it gets there, or at least, you know, let the people in the area know to, you know, take cover, basically. Definitely defending this area. They are sending a lot of defenders into this area. They're preparing for us to assault. There's no doubt about that. Oh boy. Yeah, that Jeep and machine gun is in trouble. They retreated. I hope he's safe. Okay, here we go, guys. We are going to be dropping some artillery rounds. Wish us luck. Oh, airstrike! Hey, that was awesome. We got our first airstrike in there. And there we go. No effect on Colonel Kasani. We were trying to kill him. Fire again. No effect on the 81mm mortars. Alright, our artillery strike is not as good as it has been in the previous parts of this particular mission. Before, we used to get some really good hits, but looks like the enemy's getting a little better at avoiding our shots. No effect there on the rifle company. Oh yeah! No effect! What? And that was our Tampanella. I was really hoping for something big with 120 millimeters there. Or 120 millimeter round, excuse me, but no, it looks like they got lucky. Now, we did manage to reduce their 81 millimeter mortar by 2 with that attack. That's great. It's going to help our boys down the line. But we're definitely getting into the thick of it here. And there we go. 1 loss on their 6-pounder AT gun. Reduced one of their rifle companies by 3, dead or wounded. That's pretty good. And here we go. Another strike. We're trying to kill Lieutenant Colonel Doka. Second strike. No effect. Come on, boys. Hey, that actually missed, but we hit an AT gun, which is great. Doka. We killed him! We killed Doka, guys. Lieutenant Colonel Doka has been eliminated by our artillery. Excellent shooting by our men, and that is definitely going to help. Especially since that area near Rafa, that 250, that is actually the main enemy victory point. We want to take it. We want to take it soon. Anyway, like I said, if you guys are enjoying this series, keep supporting it by hitting that like button, commenting, join me on my Twitch channel, and subscribe to the channel, guys. Please do. Sharing is the best thing you can do. This series is not going to get monetized, so I'm not really worried about that, but sharing the series and letting people know about the channel really helps us out. Thanks again, guys. Take care, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.